Ever feel like you're doing everything right, but still feel stuck? The career, the house, the script we followed, yet something's missing. Everyone said we made it. We realized we'd been climbing someone else's ladder. That realization sparked a journey toward liberation, toward Africa, toward intention. We haven't left yet, but the shift has already begun. Liberation doesn't start with a move. It starts the moment you stop asking permission. I am Simone. I am a wife to this handsome gentleman sitting next to me. Also a mother of 4 amazing and wonderful children. I am a breast surgeon by profession. I am a lover of luxury travel experiences. I absolutely love traveling and also traveling in luxury. That is definitely guilty as charged. I'm also a real estate investing enthusiast. I really enjoy looking, considering, strategizing around real estate and using it to further your generational wealth as well as just time, independence, and freedom. And lastly, I am definitely a certified introvert, so this decision of ours to start a YouTube channel is definitely taking me out of my comfort zone because
Yes, it is.
I am definitely not the person that is wanting to talk amongst lots of people. I'm the one in the corner, just chilling, observing. And so that's me.
Hi, my name is Luke. I am a husband, a father, personal trainer, fitness enthusiast, avid runner. I love working with kids. This is who I am.
My mission currently is really to build a life that really centers wellness, compassion, balance, and intention. As a healthcare provider, working unfortunately within a system that was designed to keep people unwell, I'm really shifting my focus and energy towards creating systems that really foster a harmony between mind, body, and spirit. It's really important, particularly in the times that we currently live in. So many people are suffering. And as mentioned, the current, system that I have to function within, as mentioned, it wasn't designed for wellness. I model for my children a life that is built around intention and purpose. And so I'm really showing my children what it truly means to live with purpose and on purpose.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Bars.
I put that
Bars. That was good.
Oh, goodness. So, yes, I'm embarking on, this journey that harnesses my creative energy, which, I'm not really able to tap into. That's his word.
It's one of my words I like to use. I don't say it a lot, but she says I do, but it's just
Okay, y'all shall see
yeah.
how many times he says tap in. But anyway, I digress. So, like I was saying, I'm embarking on a journey that really harnesses my creative energy and moves beyond the daily fight or flight that we all, well, I shouldn't say we all, but those of us living in a certain place, um, we have to navigate on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, we do.
So that's a little bit about what my mission is. What about you?
Oh, my turn. Oh, check this out. So, like I told you before, things I like to do. I'm passionate and about empowering like the youth through health and movement and wellness. Most importantly, as well, mental wellness. I believe in creating environments where young people understand that they can do anything and become anything that they dream of. Um, that's my passion. That's my purpose. As a family, our mission, we are committed. Yes, we're committed to living with purpose, compassion, and courage, because it takes a lot of courage to do what we are embarking on. It does. Sure. It does. It does. Let me tell you. Our mission is to make a meaningful transition, like, to South Africa, not just as change in a location, but to be honest, like, and to be bold and to step toward living out of our values more fully. Our journey, which is a part of the mission, it's rooted in love, service, and the belief that our purpose is bigger than ourselves.
Going back to our children is really demonstrating to them that one, the world is a very big place, and that they don't have to live inside the confines of a small box that we've all been kind of conditioned to live within. And so a big part of our mission and the reason why we chose to embark on this journey is to really have an impact not only on our children, but our children's children, and their children. So, yeah.
That's important.
All of that. Many people that know us have asked us this question a lot, certainly as of late.
Yes.
Given that many know of our intentions to relocate. So, why did we decide that relocating to somewhere outside of the US was part of our family journey?
Yes.
So I would say that, it started for me back in 2020. As we all know, there was a pandemic. And during that time, I began watching something called In Class with Carr. And essentially watching Dr. Carr have conversations, really tying together history in a way that really just shifted
Yes.
my whole mindset around who I am as a woman of African descent, born in the US. Family has been here for generations. And just being more clear, let's be clear, is something that Dr. Carr definitely says a lot.
Let's be clear.
that clarity and understanding the environment, the system that you're currently living in, and it just really awakened this desire to want more and to reject the notion that you got to live life on the struggle bus.
We're not doing the struggle bus. Nah.
So it really began with that. And then one day, as I was listening, Dr. Carr mentioned Walter Maya. And I'm like, oh, I've never heard of this person. Let me go check out what he's talking about. So then that sent us on a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it was a good one. Though. It was a good rabbit
Well, I should say down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Of watching content, by content creators on the continent. It started with Walter Maya, and then it just blossomed into a whole litany. I won't go down the whole list, but it was really watching Walter Maya present Africa as a whole in a light that you just don't see that.
No, you don't. They don't want you to see it.
You just don't see it, and so it definitely it just awakened in us. I think something that was always there, but it just kind of brought it to the forefront. So as we were watching Walter Maya, one episode he featured the Blantons, and so that sent us down another rabbit hole of watching the Real South Africa's content. And, funny enough, we had traveled to South Africa before. That was actually the first time we've been to the continent, and the only time at that point was in 2019. We went to Cape Town with a large group of friends. But at that point in time, we were not even thinking about considering, moving. I've always had an interest and want to explore the continent, but never looked at it from the lens that we are now. So when we started watching the Blantons, and it really just was like, wow, this is actually a place I could see myself living in. Like, it was, everything that you want in a place, or I should say we want in a place. I don't want to speak for others. But for us, just seeing the lifestyle, the beauty.
Yes, it is beautiful.
And so that's really where, South Africa really kind of got on our radar as far as like considering a place to relocate. Listening and watching the Blantons' content, and finally, the first real estate tour they had, we weren't able to go. The second one, I think I had just started a new job and didn't have like the time off. And then the third real estate tour, funny enough, we were actually planning on going on a family vacation to the Caribbean for Thanksgiving, but those plans kind of fell through. And I was like, you know what? We got the time. We got the funds. Let's hop on this real estate tour. We've been watching their content for years now.
Yes.
And, to the point where it was, the kids were like, why are you always watching stuff about South Africa? And so we were able to attend their real estate tour last November. And it really just solidified what we were already thinking, as far as seeing South Africa as a place that we could call home. Being there, just being amongst the people.
Yeah, it was good energy.
We spent a lot of time looking at real estate, but we also took the opportunity to just be and walk different neighborhoods, go to all the different the restaurants.
The restaurants, the foods, the malls.
So yeah, so just being there last November, it just really, again, it just solidified it for us. We were just like, I mean, it's a no brainer. Like, it has everything that we could need, and more. Um, the lifestyle options. I mean, there's just so many options depending on what you like. If you want to be in a country club, if you want to be, you know, on an equestrian estate, if you want to be in the city, you want to be.
You have options.
I mean, it's just the list goes on and on as
Yes.
far as the different lifestyle options that there are, and the affordability is just, when you come back to the U.S. and you see where your money goes versus where it goes over there, I mean, I it took a lot of energy for us not to have an attitude when we came back
it was moving
after the
different.
first trip, because we were just like, what are we doing? Like, what is going on? Like, why are we
How much?
here doing this? So that's really where our decision to relocate, stems from. And the more we've engaged with specifically South Africa, we went back again in April of this year with our youngest children. And then we have 3 younger children who are school aged, and our oldest is in college, so he wasn't able to come with us on the April trip. But he and I actually, my eldest son and I, we went on the Durban real estate tour over the summer. And so, yeah, the kids absolutely loved it.
Yes, they had a great time.
They talk about it all the time, right?
They had a great time. It was an eye opener for them, because when we made this trip to take them in April, it was very important that we incorporate things that they do here in their lifestyle here, to make sure that they can do that as well also in South Africa, in the continent of Africa in general. And so we did everything from, where did we go? We took them to...
we did the rancho. Yeah. That was the beginning of the trip.
Yeah, we did the rancho.
And that was definitely a very local experience. Yeah. It was just beautiful to see all the children, and just people just living life and not really having that tension that you feel here in the U.S. Is just, people were just being people and just enjoying life.
Yeah, it's like, how are you? Talking, communicating. Like, it was great.
Yeah, so then we did the rancho. Certainly we went to all the different malls, which, our eldest daughter, Morgan, she was in heaven. Let's just put it that way. If that girl can be in a mall every day, she would, and would not get tired of it. Yeah. So she was absolutely loving it. Taking them to bounce. We went to 2 different locations, and they were both very different as far as how they were laid out, the different things that they had for the kids to do.
Don't forget the Lego store.
Of course. Yeah. Liam, our younger son, he loves Legos. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was just a wonderful experience to be able to provide our children with that entry to the continent, where, a lot of the negative rhetoric around Africa as a whole, that won't really penetrate their psyche, because they're like, nah, I've been there. That's not
Yeah.
that's not what I
It's
saw,
not what I said. Like,
and that's not what I experienced.
they're good.
So yeah, I mean, once we were able to bring them and see how comfortable they were, how they just, it was like being at home, but just not having to go to school and
Yeah.
doing different fun activities every day. Uh, so yeah, I mean, that was vitally important for us before we finalized a decision to relocate. We had to make sure that our children would be comfortable, and yeah, they absolutely love it. They
They
talk about it all the time.
they loved it. And the safari experience. We had a chance to take them to the Bush Lodge, and just seeing lions and from the giraffes to the elephants to the big five. It was amazing. It's like we took them there. Then when we come back here, it's like I don't want to go to the zoo.
What's the zoo?
What's the zoo? Like
Yeah,
we seen them up close and personal, So like that was funny to hear them say, "Why we gotta
yeah,
go to the zoo? All the animals they're like caged up and they're like out here, they just free and just having their minding their business and they're not even paying us no attention. So they really enjoyed that,
yeah.
So I can say, um, have them see what it's all about. It just opened their eyes to the point where like they were like, when we going back? Do we have to leave? I can make new friends here. We've had experiences where they were like playing with kids from South Africa on the playground, and they just like, just engaging and just opening up, and it was like they've known each other. That was the cool thing about it. Like they, like, oh, you're not from here, like no, and just engaging, getting names, and having fun. And the fact that the kids can move around and engage was great. And not having eyes on them, worried about what's going on, because we was like doing our thing, but wasn't worried about like what's going on with them because the vibes that we've got from being there. And I can honestly say that when you agree, we was like just real like mellow, laid back, and letting them explore.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Like they were running on, we were in bounce, and I probably didn't see them like have eyes on them for like, I don't know how much time passed, but certainly a lot more significant amount of time that would have passed if we were in the U.S. at a similar place. Like you always feel like you gotta have one eye on them at all times
yeah,
because things can happen.
quickly.
Um, and just having that comfort where you don't feel like you gotta have eyes on your kids at all times because they're in an environment where they're not constantly under the threat of being assaulted or even worse. But um, just to kind of wrap up why we chose, I think the top reasons is that peace. That peace.
Yes,
I think that's really at the very, very top of
it's
the
at the
list.
top. It's at the top.
The peace, the affordability,
Yes,
um,
the
and
access.
oh yes, the access and the people.
Love
You
the
know,
people. I
I don't
still
even know
keep
where to
it.
start with the people. Like,
They're
just the people
amazing.
we've
Like
met is just,
I still communicate with them. Like we'll be on WhatsApp, and just checking in. And then it's like the timing is. It's like if I'm up late and I'm like, oh, let me send them a message to say what's up, and just to check in and say, hey, how's everything going? I hope all is well, and that's one thing I can honestly say is like the they accept you, they bring you in, they don't um, look at you as like, oh, you're from there, and or but they do ask the question of why here, like why here, and then we
yeah.
we break it down to them why, and they get it, and then once we tell them that, they're happy to hear that from us, because it's not just about moving there just to move there and just be a body, but also um, advocate and help out people in those communities as well with what we know, and be a part of the continent. So yeah, that's our move.
How did we come to decide to do a YouTube channel? Um, so one night I was, actually it wasn't the night, it was early evening. I wasn't feeling well and I had to lay down and take a nap. And as I was lying there, Luke and I have talked before about potentially doing a YouTube channel. And like I said, I'm, I'm an introvert. So I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. But, we have come to a place where we've gotten very clear about what our goals and objectives are. And we wouldn't be even considering relocating to South Africa specifically, had it not been for other content creators. And so, as I was lying there, it just kind of hit me. It's like, we have to do our part in paying it forward the way in which, like I mentioned, Wodamaya, the Blantons, Ashley in Africa, uh, you know, I say those three particular content creators, because as is mentioned, watching Wodamaya, that really shifted our focus to Africa. Watching the Blantons, shifted our focus towards South Africa. And then, watching Ashley over the years and, fast forward to current times, working with her directly, helping us along our journey to building businesses that are location independent, to investing on the continent. We would not have known any of these individuals, virtually or even personally, with respect to, the Blantons and with Ashley, had it not been for social media, specifically YouTube. So we kind of felt like, it's our turn to share. And I thought, what better time to share than now, where, we can provide that, not day by day, because we're not going to be recording content every day, but, you know, taking you along our journey to continuing the process of building businesses, to the process of investing in real estate, and then to the process that we are currently on to planning our relocation. And so that's where the idea to start a YouTube channel came from. And then with respect to the name of our channel, um, you know, liberation is not a destination. Um, Liberation is a lifelong process. And, what reflects that more than, a journey? We all are embarking on this journey called life. And the only end point is when we transition into another form of existence. And so everything that we are, building, creating, it's, liberation is at the center of that. And so what we're going to share is what liberation means to us. And towards the end, what we'll invite you to do is to share what liberation means to you, because I think liberation means different things at different periods of your life. Um, and it's also very individualized. You know, what liberation looks like for us certainly isn't necessarily what liberation looks like for others. But what we hope is that by sharing our journey, that one, it demystifies a lot of things, particularly when you're talking about relocating and investing, um, but also maybe inspiring others to think differently about what life could look like, and what's most important to you. Um, so for me, um, I had to jot down some notes so that I could keep my thoughts together. So I'm going to be looking down just to kind of make sure I stay on message. But for me, liberation is using my gifts, my talents, skills to create a legacy rooted in love, compassion, and community. It's, working in collaboration with like-minded people to build the world we want to live in. The famous Karen Hunter says that quite often. I didn't mention Karen Hunter, but she is part of the reason why there's even a in class with Carr. She's just decided to ask him one day, hey, can I record us talking? Because other people need to hear what it is that we're talking about, because it's going to free a lot of people. And she was absolutely right in that. So back to what liberation means. See, that's why I have my notes, because I can tend to get off track.
It's okay though. It happens. It happens. Because it's okay. Just
Yeah, I know.
it's nothing wrong with that. Because you gotta understand. Like, you can stay on Karen if you want to a little longer, because what Karen talked about in Carr as well, Dr. Greg Carr, is it's very important that they said bring your brick. Right? Mm-hmm. You bring that brick. Don't forget that point, because everybody has something to bring to the table.
Yeah.
But we say bring your brick. You lay that brick. You put that foundation down. We build that house, and we keep helping, right? So, that's all I wanted to add, because it's okay to get off track, but we know how to get back on track. And go ahead, finish talking about liberation.
All right. So, liberation for me also means taking up space, particularly as your authentic self, free of barriers, put in place specifically based on my skin color and my gender. And I know y'all folks know what I'm talking about. Liberation for me is raising my children in an environment that pours love and uplifts their spirit, rather than diminishing them. Too many of our children are being assaulted, and not necessarily physically. I mean, that's happening too, but what I'm more specifically talking about is the emotional and mental assault that our children are subjected to on a daily basis, in the classroom, just being children in the world. It's very sad.
Yes, it is.
So a big part of liberation for me is changing the environment in which my children are growing up, and figuring out who they are and why they were put on this earth and what they were put here to do. So that's a big part of it. And then the last thing I will say is living daily in a creative energy space rather than in survival mode. I think for many people from the outside looking in, they're like, why on earth would you want to, you know, leave what you have going on to go somewhere else? You know, you know what they say, like, oh, you're a physician and you know, have all these wonderful, great accomplishments, which those things are absolutely true. But as I mentioned before, the system in which I have to operate, it doesn't leave a lot of space for creative energy. Let's just put it that way. You have to do things a certain way within a certain time frame, and yeah, I'm choosing something different. I'm choosing a different path.
It's a good path. It's a good path.
So, what is liberation from your perspective, Luke?
Liberation from on what I feel and is liberation is the unapologetic right to live fully, right? I say mind, body, and soul without being defined or confined, right? By systems my wife talked about that were never built for us to thrive, you to thrive. That's key. That's what part of liberation means to me. It's freedom from generational trauma and inherited survival mode. Back to what you talked about, right? Because it's like, okay, it's like you mentioned the hamster on the wheel, remember? And did you mention that?
No, we've mentioned it in other conversations.
So I'm sorry. We'll talk about. Oh man, I'm so sorry. But it's freedom from generational trauma and inherited survival mode. It's the healing of the mind from constant self-doubt. That's huge. The reclaiming of self-worth in a world that often sees you as a threat before a human. Let me say that again. It is the reclaiming of self-worth in a world that often sees you as a threat before a human. And that's deep. That's deep. It's walking in your truth, unshackled from the burden of proving your value. Liberation is being able to raise your children without fear, love, love your people without apology, and build legacy on your own terms. It's economic power, creative expression, emotional safety, spiritual alignment, and peace. All these great things my wife talked about. But just in my terms, because I just wanted to break it down on how I felt about what liberation was. It is not just escape from the oppression, but the embodiment of joy, rest, and radical self-determination. That's liberation from me.
We want to leave you with 3 key takeaways from this video. So first is liberation begins with a decision. So as we've been talking about how we've come to our particular decision with respect to relocating. And so, again, we all have to define for ourselves what liberation looks like. But regardless of what it looks like and what it entails, it has to start with a decision. Second takeaway is Africa is opportunity and home.
Yes, it is.
We are very clear and unapologetic about our feelings towards the continent of Africa. And so, if you don't know, you better start paying attention, because the opportunities are vast as it relates to the continent of Africa. And, you know, as mentioned, the mindset shift for us has really allowed us to open our eyes and see the opportunities that await on the continent. And so that is takeaway number 2. Africa is opportunity and home. And the third is legacy begins with alignment. We are sharing our journey to building a legacy, and that legacy aligns with our values. It's very important that, your actions and the decisions that you make reflect your values. And so that's takeaway number 3. If you've ever dreamed of living on your own terms, creating freedom, reconnecting with purpose, and designing a life that truly reflects who you are definitely in the right place. We're going to be sharing how we are building location independent businesses, investing in Africa, and navigating the transition of relocation, one intentional step at a time.
So listen up. This is what we need you to do. We need you to like, share, and subscribe to our liberation journey and walk the path with us. Let's redefine what freedom truly means. Leave a comment below. Please let us know what liberation means to you. But don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. It's very important that you do that.
Yes, sharing is caring.
Talk to you soon. See you soon.
Peace.
Peace.